Hello and welcome everyone. Good morning. My name is Yasir Gulfraz, and our today lecture is about advanced business research methods or marketing. So uh, today we will discuss into the advanced business research methods. Research methods plays an important role in the field for business and economic as it helps us make informed decisions, understand market research, and identify opportunities for growth. So, anyone is there? So, if anyone is there, you guys can, if you can't see anything like my screen or if you can't hear my voice, please do let me know. Anybody is there? Okay. So, let's start with the learning outcomes one. So be able to develop research approaches in a business and economics context. So learning our objectives after this presentation, you should understand fully the nature and form of unfeasible objectives and some ways of overcoming this problem. Why this is important? The reason is why this is important. The reason is your suggest the research area that you want to pursue, not the tutor, although the tutors will help guide. Your research objectives are important to your because if they are not well through and appropriately defined, you may be unable to complete your studies. This presentation offers some insight into how to avoid the unfeasible objectives problem. So, three trap of Unwary. So, anybody can tell me what is the three trap of for the Unwary? If is anyone there? Okay. M-level researchers have to guard against three potential problems that will delay their research. One, trap of Narcissus, then trap of Hercules, and then trap of Cerberus. So trap number one is the trap of Narcissus in Greek methodology. Okay, I will explain a bit about my words. So if you have any question or anything comes in your mind, please ask me. So Narcissus was a character who fell in love with his own reflections in a pool water. Okay, that's the story behind of his. So to avoid this trap of researcher must ensure that their ideas are backed up solid research plans, methodologies, and data. It is important to avoid being uh, overly focused on the appearance of the research and instead prioritize the actual content and results. So yeah, moving on the trap number two, we have the trap of Hercules, Greek methodology again. Uh, Hercules was known for his incredible strength and completing impossible tasks. This trap occurs when a researcher takes on an overly ambitious project that is beyond their capabilities or available resources. It is essential to be realistic and consider the feasibility of the proposed study. Researchers should break down their research goals into manageable and achievable tasks. The last one is we have the trap of Cerberus in Greek methodology. Cerberus was a three-headed dog that guarded the gates of the underworld. So similarly, the trap of Cerberus in research refers to proposing a study that is so sensitive or restricted, their finding calibrating organizations become nearly impossible. So to avoid this trap, researcher must carefully consider the feasibility and accessibility of their proposed research. It is important to establish connections, build networks, and engage with potential calibration early on to ensure access to the required resources and expertise. So let's talk about, trap of Narcissus. We will discuss all three traps one by one. So trap of Narcissus, the common mistake is to start by thinking of a little for your research. This is often compounded by phrasing it to make it sound good rather than by starting with the objectives. This leads to be narcissism trap. So what exactly is the trap of narcissism? So when we prioritize coming up with a impressive or attention grabbing title, we tend to focus more on market making it sound good rather than considering the actual objective of our research. So we become so absorbed and creating an appealing facade that we lose sight of the substances. So why this is a problem? When we fall into the narcissism trap, we risk misaligning our research with its intended purpose. Our work should aim to address specific objectives, contribute to knowledge, and provide valuable insights. But when we prioritize style over substance, we lose sight of these fundamental goals. This can result in confusion, a lack of clarity, and ultimately a weaker research outcomes. Don't be Narcissus. So in a Greek methodology, Narcissus was a hunter who was punished for his pride. For gods made him fall so in love with his own reflection that he could not leave it and wasted to death. Trap of narcissism, the imagine of a title which stimulates your senses, a title that you imagine is so impressive that you fall in love with it. So although you may have very little understanding about how you will conduct the research, you are unwilling to leave it. So because you think the title alone will impress your peers, perhaps even policy makers and leading strengths. So to conduct meaningful research, we need a solid foundation of knowledge, and a well thought out plan. Research is a journey that requires perseverance, hard work, and the willingness to explore deep into a subject. It is through diligent exploration and analysis that we can uncover valuable insights and make a genuine impact, instead of getting trapped by the focus on the essence of our research. So let us strive to develop a deep understanding of our chosen subject and to conduct a rigorous and thorough investigation. It is through this dedication and genuine pursuit of knowledge that we can make a lasting impression on our peers and those who had positions of influence. Trap of narcissism, understand, that we should have understanding how research objectives should ideally be grounded in reality and focused. The primary purpose of any research project is to contribute to the existing knowledge in a particular field, addressing a specific problem or questions. When researchers fall into the trap of narcissism, their objectives become more about personal recognition and validation than genuine scientific inquiry. Here is the problem: when your objectives are not grounded in reality, you set yourself up for failure. As time goes on, you realize that you cannot deliver your dissertation to the expected standards. Yet, so you hesitate to let go of the title that once made you feel important. These hesitations can be detrimental to your progress and productivity. Also, it is important to understand that research is a process of learning and discovery, not a means to feed our egos. The pursuit of knowledge should always be precedence over personal recognition Embracing this mindset allows us to make the most of our time, utilizing it effectively to conduct meaningful research and contribute to our respective field. Any questions so far? Anyone is there? Hello? Okay. So example of narcissism, example of title that cannot be delivered include the influence of Islamic banking on world Islamic institutes, small and medium enterprises, then competitive advantage in the fast food outlets of the People's Republic of China. Trap of narcissism, why are the title inappropriate? So answer is because the student who suggests them cannot deliver a study of sufficient depth of master's level. The scope of suggested research is too large. Anybody can tell me how to I avoid the trap of narcissism? Okay. Your research proposal and beyond that, your dissertation will be undertaken mostly by you. How will you investigate fast food in China? China is a huge country with a massive fast food sector, which differs from province to province. This is too big a task. So first of all, you have to ask a question, yourself. What is that I can deliver to a very high standard? Can I narrow the area under studying? So to avoid falling into the trap of narcissism, it is important to assess your capabilities realistically. Ask yourself the following question: what can I deliver to here? What can I deliver to very high standard? By narrowing down the scope of your study, you can focus your efforts and ensure a more comprehensive and rigorous investigation. Uh, Instead of attempting to cover the entire fast food sector in China, you could consider narrowing your focus to a specific province or a particular aspect of the industry, such as consumer preferences or the impact of fast food on public health. This targeted approach allow for a deeper exploration of the chosen area and increases the likelihood of producing valuable insight. Well, now we will come to the trap of Hercules. One of the key trap of Hercules. Anybody can tell me about trap of Hercules? Even students start correctly by thinking about the objectives rather than the title of their research. May experience explore gaining sufficient focus. So one of the key mistakes students make is not having clear and concise research objectives. Instead of having a well-defined focus, their objectives become difficult and scattered. Imagine a target that is spread out in a multiple direction, making it difficult to hit the bullseyes. This is precisely the situation many students find themselves in. So trap of Hercules occurs when students include too many objectives in their research proposal, or they include few objectives. Each object has a number of sub-themes which would require investigations. So trap of Hercules occurs when students encounter two situations. The first one is labeled as option A is to when students include too many objectives in their research projects. So this can happen when students try to cover a wide range of topics or aspects within their research, making their proposal overly ambitious. The result, it becomes challenging to focus and execute the research effectively. In another hand, the second situation, labeled as a B, involves students who include only a few objectives in their research proposal. However, within each of these objectives, there are numerous sub-themes that require further investigations. In other words, each objective branches into the multiple smaller area of study. While it may seem like a detailed and comprehensive approach, it can lead to a lack of focus and overwhelm the researcher. Any questions so far? Anybody is there? Okay. So in a trap of Hercules, C is include too many academic areas within their proposal or include comparative research in their objectives. So too many academic areas within proposal. Imagine you are a researcher who comes up with an exciting idea for a study. You are passionate about your topic and eager to explore from multiple angles. However, it is important to remember that a research proposal should have a clear and specific focus. Including too many academic areas can lead to a lack of coherence and dilute the impact of your study. So to avoid this trap, it is important to define the scope of your research clearly. Identify the main objectives and research questions you want to address and ensure that all elements of your proposal align with them. So by maintaining a narrow focus, you can explore deeper into your chosen area and provide more valuable insights. So next trap is D, including comparative research in their objective. Comparative research in your objectives. Comparative research refers to studies their aim to compare different variable or phenomena across different contexts or populations. While comparative research can be insightful, it can also be challenging to execute effectively, especially within the constraints of a research proposal. The trap of Hercules, too many objectives. There is no set number of objectives, so there might only be one objective, and students are not required to submit a long list of objectives like the one on the next slide. Example of many objectives, like Objective 1, investigation to investigate investors' opinion of anti-fraud measures in place of at the bank. So Objective 1 is investigating investor opinions on anti-fraud measures. We want to understand your thoughts on the anti-fraud measures currently in place at our bank. So the investigation aims to gather your opinions, concerns, and suggestions regarding the effectiveness of these measures. Then Objective 2, to consult investor over the impact of anti-fraud measures on a customer services at the bank. Consulting investors on the impact of anti-fraud measures on customer services, we are also eager to consult you regarding the impact of our anti-fraud measures on customer services. We want to ensure that these measures do not hinder or negatively affect the level of service we provide to our valued customers. So your insights will be invaluable in striking the right balance. Then we come to Objective 3, to consult investors over their proposal for improved customer services. Gathering investor proposal for improved customer services, your opinions matter greatly to us, and we want to hear your proposals to ensure enhancing customer services. The consultation will provide an opportunity for you to share your ideas, suggestions, and recommendations to help us further improve the overall customer experience. So next is example of many sub-themes. Let's begin to considering the opinion of our investors regarding the anti-fraud measures currently in place at our bank. So we value your input and would like to hear your thoughts on how effective these measures are in combating fraudulent activities. Additionally, we would like to consult you how these measures impact customer services. We want to strike a balance between ensuring security and providing excellent services to our customers. So moving, it is important to acknowledge and address any problems that may exist within our investment process. We understand that efficient investment process are vital for our investors. So therefore, we would like to hear your proposal for improving customer services in this area. Your insight and suggestions will play an important role in enhancing our investment process and meeting your needs as investors. So finally, let's talk about our main objectives, improving customer services. Yeah. So improving customer services, customer satisfaction, and growing the number of customers at our bank. We are committed to provide outstanding services to our customers, and their satisfaction is our top priority. Then example two many academic areas. Firstly, talk about the major stack or bank or combat fraud. It is important for us to know your thoughts on these measures. So do you believe they are effective? How have they affected your overall experience as customers? Your feedback will help us evaluate and improve our anti-fraud strategies. So moving on, we also need to address the issues that may exist in our investment process. As investor, your perspective on these matters is invaluable. I would like to hear your proposal for enhancing customer services in relation to our investment procedure. So by sharing your ideas, we can work together towards improving the overall experience for all stakeholders involved. Additionally, I want to emphasize the importance of customer services in our bank. Our primary goal is to enhance customer satisfaction and attract more customers. To achieve this, we need to identify areas for improvement. Your input on how we can enhance our customer services efforts will be greatly appreciated. Now is a why is this problem chapter 2. So anybody can tell me anything about why is this problem which is in chapter 2? Okay, chapter 2 says that chapter 2 of our research requires you to critically review relevant areas of our literature, for example, relevant to the objectives, and master students are expected to construct a conceptual framework for the theoretical areas discussed. How will we demonstrate critical conceptual mastery of the 8 areas in red on the previous slide in the limited space available? In chapter 2, you are required to critically review relevant areas of the literature and construct a conceptual framework based on the discussed theoretical areas. So first, think it is important to understand why this is a problem. When conducting research, it is important to review the existing literature to gain a comprehensive understanding of the topic at hand. This helps you identify the existing gaps and build upon the knowledge that already exists. However, as a master students, you are expected to go beyond more summarization of the literature. One approach is to focus on the most significant aspects of each area, identify the key theories, concepts, or findings that are highly relevant to your research objectives. So by doing so, you can prioritize the information that is most important to understanding your conceptual framework. In addition, you can utilize visual aids to convey complex ideas. Diagram charts or graph charts can be effective tools for presenting your conceptual framework. So these values can help condense information and make it more accessible to the reader, allowing you to communicate your mastery efficiently. Example, comparative research. Let's be clear, comparative research is necessary and at times to be welcomed, but be careful with the scope of the comparison you wish to investigate. So any questions so far? Anyone is there? Okay. A comparison research is method used to examine similarities and differences between different entities such as countries, organizations, or individuals. It allows us to gain insight into various phenomena and understand how they are vary across different contexts. However, we need to be mindful of the scope of our comparison and the potential pitfalls that may arise. Example of comparative research. To investigate investors' opinion of anti-fraud measures in place at 3 banks and consult them over the impact of anti-fraud measures on customer services at these banks. Anti-fraud measures in place at the 3 banks. Investor, it is as investor, it is important to have confidence in the security and integrity of our investments. The banks have implemented anti-fraud measures to safeguard our interests, such as robust authentication process, real-time fraud detection system, and regular security audits. However, it is essential to understand your opinions on these measures and their effectiveness. Now our focus on the impact of anti-fraud measures on customer services. While these measures aims to protect our investments, they should not hinder our banking experience or compromise customer services. It is vital for the bank to strike a balance between robust security measures and seamless customer services. Moving forward, investment process issues at these bank investments are an integral part of our financial strategies, and it is important to have a smooth and reliable investment process. Unfortunately, some investors have encountered problems with the current investment process at these banks. So to improve customer services, customer satisfaction, and grow the number of customers at the bank, when we talk about this, strategies to improve, strategies to improve customer services, increase customer satisfaction, and attract more customers to these banks. The ultimate goal is to create a banking experience that exceeds our expectations and encourages more people to choose these banks as their preferred financial institutions. Page 23. Any questions so far, if anybody's there? Okay, how to avoid Hercules trap? Uh, do not write down a long list of things you want to research and include them all. Focus on a very few areas you will research thoroughly. Then discuss this with your tutors and your mentors or peers. Remember, Hercules was gifted with great strength, but if you overload the bar, you will not be able to lift it. So basically, Hercules, this is the strength of Hercules was a gift, but it was overload ourselves with the excessive amount of research. So it becomes like an overwhelming weight that we can't lift. So by focusing on a few key areas, we can give our full attention and effort to each of topic, leading to more meaningful and comprehensive research outcomes. So trap of Hercules, again, Greek methodology, uh, as we discussed above, that so was the hound of heads, a three-headed dog with a snake tail. Cerberus guarded the gate of heads and ensured that spirits of the dead cloud enter, but non-cloud exist and no living creature could enter. So trap of Hercules, uh, there are three main points. In the business world, some research may have the potential to offer intelligence and possibly competitive advantage to organizations. So then next one is, if your research needs to be again sustainably based or organizationally based, to permit empirical data to collected, you need to negotiate access. So you cannot and should not conduct impartial research into an organization without their previous acknowledgement and permission. Keep in mind the negotiation may involve, when he is topic of trap of Hercules, this is a basically negotiation a process as well. So negotiation access. So make sure during the when you negotiation may involve compromises. The organization might have specific conditions or limitations on the data you can access or the scope of your research. So be open to these discussion and find common ground that allows you to conduct meaningful research while respecting their requirements. Also remember, conducting impartial research without prior acknowledgement and permission from an organization is not only unethical, but can also lead to legal consequences. Trap of Cerberus can be thought of and beautifully constructed research objectives that requires an organization to collaborate with your and or allow you access to it, and yet they refuse your access and will not collaborate in your research. Example of Cerberus trap, HR, human resource department, to analyze the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing the HR department is a retail environment. When it comes to outsourcing HR function in the retail industry, there are several advantages to consider. Firstly, outsourcing allows retail companies to focus on their core businesses activities, such as sales and customer services, while leaving the HR talks to external experts. This can result in increased operational efficiency and cost saving. So another advantage is access to specialized HR knowledge and expertise. HR outsourcing companies often have a dedication team of professionals who stay updated with the latest HR practices and regulations. So we leveraging their expertise, retail companies can ensure compliance with employment laws, management employee benefit effectively, and handle payroll administration effectively. Okay. Next is Cerberus trap again. Source of competitive advantages are closely guarded. They will be defended by an organizational Cerberus to make sure that you do not get even close to the sources of profitability and advantage that they have attained. Access all be denied. So in the business world of business, companies often process certain sources of competitive advantage that set them apart from their rivals. These advantages may include proprietary technologies, exclusive partnership, unique distribution networks, or even a highly talented workforce. So these sources of profitability and advantages are like hidden treasures that companies guard very closely. To protect these valuable assets, companies employ what we call an organizational Cerberus. So now you might be wondering what is Cerberus? In Greek methodology, Cerberus is three-headed dog, as I discussed above. The entrance to the underworld. In the business context, the organizational Cerberus is a metaphorical representation of the protective measures put in place by companies to ensure that their competitors do not come anywhere near their valuable sources of competitive advantages. Reflection, you will have some time to suggest your research objectives. You should be thinking about how you can clarify them. You might need to think how you can narrow them. Think about which organization, if organization is required, might help you with the dissertations. So example of research research proposal and full project can be found within Moodle if you want to check them. So that's it. We discussed about three different methodologies: narcissism, then Hercules, then Cerberus. Or I hope this lecture has given you a solid understanding of how to develop research approaches in the context of business and economics. Remember that research is an invaluable tool for informed decisions making and driving business sources. So anyway, thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our next lecture, which is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So if there is any question, please drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. So thank you very much, and bye for now.